It works. How does this work? This is my PlayStation 4 running on my 2014 Ford Fusion. How does this work? Hey guys, hope you're doing well. So as many of you may know or possibly may not know, I installed an Xbox in my Fusion. I posted this video a few months ago, and that was basically me actually attempting to do it and figuring out that it actually worked, which is pretty awesome. Now say what you want about Sync 2. I know a good amount of you guys in the Fusion community want to upgrade to Sync 3, but personally I love Sync 2. More than anything, I love that it actually gives me the opportunity to install an actual gaming console in my car as easily as it does. So today I'm going to give you a little bit more of a walkthrough on the process if you want a more in-depth guide on how to do it, a little overview of what it can do, the limitations that it has, some tips and tricks to help the install a little bit easier and actually give you more functionality out of it. And then I do have an idea on something that might work, might not. I kind of want to test it out on camera, see if we can do it, because if it does work, it'll be pretty awesome, but we'll save that for later in the video. Also, before I actually get into it, I just want to say thank you everybody for all the birthday wishes. I really do appreciate it. It was one of the best for sure. Especially thank you to my mom and my dad. They gave me this nice tripod, because I've never actually had a tripod. Half the time that you saw the camera stationary, it was on like a pile of boxes or something. So thank you, mom and dad, appreciate it. Also thank you to my sisters, my girlfriend, and my friends, honestly. And yes, if you stayed to the end of the last video, they'd actually end up getting some Fusion parts that I'm really excited about, but I'm gonna save that for its own video, so expect that coming very soon. And now let's get into it. So truth be told, you can't really tell that there's an Xbox in here. And honestly, half the time I forget there's one in there too. The reminder being that there's usually a controller laying around somewhere. Now, one of the first things I've noticed is that the card does have to be on for its function, mainly just because it draws power when the battery's actually active. So it's very simple though, because all I have to do to actually get it to work is press the home button. It turns it on, and then from there, entertainment, go down to right here, AV in. It detects a signal, and then from there, we're basically all loaded up. And this is full functionality of the Xbox. I got Halo in there. The flicker that you're seeing is just from the camera recording, not from the screen, but there is a little bit of graininess on the screen. Granted, this equipment is very old, so that's really not the biggest deal, because at the end of the day, you still have an Xbox in your car. I turn this down actually. Now say you want to mess with something like the AC while it's going. It still functions. I won't show you on the screen, but you can very easily come over here and adjust the AC. So you can do all that without actually messing with what's on the screen, because if you're actually gaming on here, you're probably not going to want things popping up left and right, and thankfully it doesn't do that. It's only limited to what the technology of the time could do, because the main thing is it's an RCA cable, so that's going to determine what games you have. But here's a nice clean shot for you. So I don't really use my center console very much. All I really had in there were those things there and then this little coin tray. But as you can see right here, this is where the factory RCA ports are. So really it's just installing those. This connects directly to the screen, and it even has a touchscreen option to select it. So you plug it in there, you plug it into the Xbox or PS3, whatever console you have with RCA cables. If you actually touch the screen, you'll see this comes up. You can also go back. This is just my Bluetooth music, and if you go back down here, this is where it is. That's really the only thing that's going to be specific for installing it with Sync 2, because it gives you the option and it gets the signal directly from those cables, and now you're back on the Xbox. Now actually behind the center console is an electrical port. Only reason I didn't put it there was because I wanted to hide the wires more than just have them laying around. So even having people sit in the back, it's possible they knock it out or even damage it. So in here I have a very simple power inverter from Walmart, because there is this actual cigarette lighter right here, and honestly all you really need to do is plug that in, and then you have not even just the electrical outlet, but you also have these USB ports. So that's what makes it super simple, keeps it out of the way, and makes it to where you can get everything done without having any wires visible. Especially when you put this tray back on, there's still tons of space. Again, I don't really use my center console, They all fit in there very casually, and honestly, you still have tons of space, as you can see by my hand. You close it, and I mean, clean center console, can't tell where's the Xbox. It's underneath the seat. Actually, before I show you guys the wiring setup and cable management, I'm gonna show you guys where the Xbox is, because that's actually gonna determine how you actually end up doing your wiring. This is just the way I do it. You can do it multiple different ways, but I found this way actually works best for hiding all the wires, specifically for me because it doesn't actually fit in the glove box. It'd be really cool if it did, but it's just too small. So the Xbox is located right here under this seat. Now it is gonna be visible usually to the passenger, but to the driver, to anybody else in the car, they're not gonna be able to see it. This is basically the area that I found works best because it can slide in. It's not actually gonna affect anything, and especially when you sit down, you're not actually gonna nick it at all, specifically because your feet kind of come all the way up here and it's way back here. So good level of clearance, and honestly hides it better than most areas would, because there aren't many areas to put it in. Again, glove box doesn't really fit, but I find that here is probably the area of least resistance, specifically because one, I don't always have a passenger in here. Two, I can reach it a little bit easier from my seat than I would be able to directly over, because from the driver's seat you actually have an angle to turn it on, off, swap out games if you need to, versus above you have the steering wheel, so you won't be able to easily reach it and get underneath your seats. Now initially I did want to build a sleeve or a bracket for it of some sort, but honestly I was overthinking it, because a little tip, all you really need to help secure it, both location and the Xbox itself, is just Velcro. So if you're worried about it rubbing on any of the pieces underneath the seat, just add some Velcro where it is to minimize the impact of the contact. It'll also help with securing it if you find that yours is moving around. Personally, I have not found that mine moves around really at all, because it'll keep it in the location that you want it while also adding that protective layer with the padding that the Velcro itself naturally has. Check out this cool cup, by the way, Starbucks Reserve. Okay, now let me break down the wiring for you guys to ensure that really clean look. So the most important tip that I can give you guys is that the inside of the center console is separate from this piece right here. The basic idea I went for, that is the suggestion I would give you guys, is remove this panel, and then from there drill a hole on the side of the center console, feed all the wires through, have them travel down the center console and basically out through the bottom of this panel right here to underneath the seat, where the Xbox is going to be if you're looking to replicate my setup. Now if you don't know how to remove this panel right here, the basic process is removing these trim pieces right here, then you remove this black leather piece, and then you have access to this piece. It's not very difficult to get off once you actually get a feel for taking these pieces off. It kind of comes naturally because automotive clips kind of all feel generally similar for the most part. But a helpful tip I would give, if you can get a few pieces off and actually get your hand underneath, if you can move it to where near the clips are and push out, that's going to be the easiest way to get it off. I've done that plenty of times, and that's actually how I got it off to paint it myself. Now if you're not sure how to take this piece off, or if you're not comfortable with it, I do have a video on my channel in which I take it off and paint it. I do go in depth on how to take it off, putting the link up right here in the top right corner. That will show you how to get these pieces off, and these two pieces are actually easier than these. So once you get those off, it's literally just pulling at these, getting a pry tool if you have one. Now this one does go back pretty far, but back here it is a line of single clips. Now removing this little tray, you can see the little hole that I drilled out right here. To get that side panel off, it's a simple hole that you have to drill. It does have to be thick enough to actually get the larger portions of the cables through, because they have to make it in there somehow. And then from there, I don't know if you can see, now as you can see down there, it actually is a little hard to see, which I mean is the same in person, but the wire does come from the bottom of that side panel and feeds underneath the seat to the Xbox. Then from underneath the seat, you just zip tie the excess of the wires, and it should be pretty flush, and you won't really be able to tell from the back unless you're actually looking for it, but for the most part it's out of view. Just like this, as you can see, I have the footwell lighting and you can't even see the cables. So whenever you get inside, now the seat is a little further back because of what I was showing you guys, but even at this very strong angle, you still can't see the wires. So that's the basic walkthrough and overview of everything that is the Xbox installed in my car. So you can do the same setup with a PS3, a GameCube, basically anything that has those red, white, and yellow RCA cables. Newer consoles, however, just use an HDMI port. So my idea is getting a HDMI to RCA cable converter, seeing if I can get maybe my PS4 working in there. I don't think it'll work, but I just want to try it out, see if it'll work. It's only like 10 bucks at Walmart. I'm gonna go buy one. I'll be right back, and fingers crossed that it works. And I'm back. So this is what I picked up right here. This is an HDMI to composite AV adapter. There are two specific ones that I was looking at, and then I realized that one was the reverse, basically. Okay, this is like the 4th or 5th time that I tried for this. But this one specifically, you have an HDMI cord, you plug it in, and you can convert that to the AV cables, the RCA cables. The other one was for the RCA cables to be plugged into an HDMI cord. The other was also more expensive, so this is the cheaper one. This was only $14, I believe. Then I also got some RCA cables. I'm really hoping it works because I just had to mess with a bunch of cables in my room to get the PlayStation out. So again, got this piece right here. I mean, I don't really know what to expect because the technology's old, but this is specifically made for old technology, I guess. So who knows? I guess there's nothing to it but to do it. So there is no way that this is working right now. There's no way this is working right now. How is this? Will it actually start up? That was the question. Oh, this is dead. Is it? Guys. Guys. Do you hear that? How is this working right now? I'm running my PlayStation 4 on my 2014 Ford Fusion right now. Okay, this is the test right here. Wait, what game's in here? What game's in here? Oh, okay. Let's try a game. Let's see if a game works. If it works, then this is the craziest thing I could ever do to my Fusion right now. Like, this is a game changer, and it's literally all thanks to this little piece right here. $14 at Walmart, and here we go. Thing is, I can't really... What is going on right now? I did not actually think this worked. I half bought this as just like a, why not? And you know, like for what it is, the quality is actually pretty good too. This is so weird. But I just need to be able to move, see what's actually going on, and I will admit victory. Better than admitting defeat, for sure. Controller vibrated. Guys! It worked! How does this work? This is my PlayStation 4 running on my 2014 Ford Fusion. How does this work? I really was not expecting that. I thought it would just give me that no signal thing for a while, but I really was not expecting that. I think my only thing is I need to get a stronger power inverter because this one is kind of crapping out. How did that work? This opens up so many doors though. I would try a PS5, but I've yet to be able to get one because every time I go to the store, they're sold out and it's been months and months. But a PS4 works on a 2014 Ford Fusion, with just this little HDMI adapter for the RCA cables. I was half joking when I said I wanted to try this too. But if anybody's gonna try this with like a PS5, message me, send me a video, I will post it because this is so cool. And honestly, Ford, bravo, I'm impressed. This is pretty awesome. And also this brand right here, this brand, Watch On. You guys are awesome. This could possibly be the first PS4 running in a Ford Fusion, and that's pretty awesome. I still cannot believe that worked. Well, that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you're gonna try this out yourself. I think I've made a good enough argument for myself on why I like Sync 2. But also to Jordan that works at Starbucks in Buda. Thank you so much for the drinks, man. Recognizing the car. You rock, and we will definitely be going back to see you soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.